so you can play. MiniWarGaming's Snagabog's Greed.
Matthew here from MiniWarGaming.com, and this is the final story time for Snagabog's Greed, our Orc and Blood Angel narrative 40k campaign. So if you haven't yet watched the season finale, make sure you go do so right now, because I am going to give away what happened. So spoiler alert. So what happened? Well, as we saw, the Blood Angels were able to have their victory. They took a serious death toll from the last final push of the Orc invasion, and then Snagabog himself actually appeared. He teleported in with a kind of a doomsday device slash teleporta device, where he was actually going to try to actually teleport the entire continent that they were on into who knows where. And if that had gone off, then all would have been lost, probably for the Orcs as well as the Blood Angels. But the Blood Angels survived, and the strike cruiser came back and started raining down drop pods and land raiders and assault marines all over the battlefield to reinforce them, and they were able to drive back the Orc threat, actually slaughter pretty much all of the Orcs that were there, and disable the doomsday device that Snagabog had, and then quickly dispatch of Snagabog. So Snagabog is no more. The Orcs have been, they've pretty much been destroyed. Of course, there's always going to be remnants, and now there's going to be Orc spores everywhere. If you know anything about Orc lore, when you kill an Orc, it just drops spores everywhere, and they'll mature into new Orcs later on, unless you like burn down the entire planet. So this planet's going to have problems with Orcs from now on. But it's kind of good, because it's a Blood Angel training world. They can just use it and go and cleanse out Orc infestations as part of their training over and over again. And that way they can keep it from getting to any critical state of a new WOG or new clans and all of that. So they're just going to have to keep going down. Now, you're probably wondering, with Captain Sandini, what the heck was going on? Some of you have guessed it. We never really truly gave it away, but I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to give most of it away at this point. There's still going to be some mysteries that'll be answered in later campaigns. Captain Sandini, essentially, after having been hurt so many times and probably a serious concussion or two, started succumbing to the Black Rage. Now, if you're not familiar with what that is, the Blood Angels have this inherent flaw, not just the red thirst, where they actually like thirst after blood, but the Black Rage, where they kind of get memories of their progenitors come into their brain, and they start to have a hard time differentiating between their own memories and the other guy's memories. And so sometimes they actually picture themselves all of a sudden fighting back in the Horus Heresy. And that's what happened to Captain Sandini. He was succumbing to the Black Rage, which those missions, wherever you saw chaos, there weren't actually chaos. He was usually fighting Orcs. In that mission where there were Chaos, Necrons, and Orcs, well, there were no chaos. There were Orcs, and there might have even been some Necrons there, as we saw in the other campaign, or the other story with Librarian Byron. And so he succumbed to that, but he eventually was able to bring a squad back and kind of reinforce that last Orc invasion, because in his mind he was going to help take down the Chaos force as well. So at no point were there any Chaos actually in this campaign. It's all in his head. And you're probably wondering what happened with Captain Sandini and Asterath in that last battle when they kind of disappeared and we just stopped talking about them. Well, Asterath, of course, had come in order to take care of Captain Sandini, to decapitate him as he had succumbed to the Black Rage. But Captain Sandini didn't see it this way. He saw Asterath as some Chaos Lord come to try to kill him and stop him from fighting back all the people who were fighting in the Horus Heresy. And so he couldn't have that. So we have a bonus mission for you. As you can see, we're set up for it right here. It's going to be a one-on-one combat between Captain Sandini with all his upgrades, extra toughness and feel no pain and rage and all that kind of stuff, facing off against Asterath the Grim. There's a link in the video description below. This is available in the vault, of course. If you're a Vault member, just click it and go watch it. If you're not a Vault member, you can click it and start a 7-day free trial. You can watch all the extra Snagabog's Greed stuff and all the other battle reports and painting tutorials that are already in the Vault. We also have a post-game discussion where Dave and I sit down and talk about the entire campaign, and everything that happened, and what we thought about it, what we want to change, and what the future holds. That is also available in the Vault at the link below. Thank you very much for watching Snagabog's Greed. Stay tuned for even more 40k narrative campaigns, including one that's going to start next week between Dave and Steve. It'll be Chaos in Eldar. I'm not going to tell you any more about that right now, but stay tuned for a trailer that'll be posted probably today or tomorrow, all about it, and we'll see that soon. Thank you again for watching. Thank you again for supporting MiniWarGaming. This is Matthew. Happy wargaming.
MiniWarGaming's Snagabog's Greed.